And I invite you now to hear the reading of the text as it comes to us from John's Gospel, one of the lectionary texts slated for today as Third Sunday in Epiphany. It comes to us from John chapter 2, verses 1 through 11. The wedding at Cana. If you haven't already noticed, we've got a lot of wedding stuff happening this morning. We've got wedding banners. We were singing songs about love because this is the Sunday where we remember one of Jesus' journeys and his early ministry in the book of John as he attended a wedding at Cana. And John is the only gospel writer who records this event. Now, on the third day, there was a wedding in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine gave out, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, what concern is that to you and to me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." Now, standing there were 6 stone water jars for the Jewish rite of purification, each holding 20 or 30 gallons. And Jesus said to them, "Fill the jars with water." And they filled them up to the brim. And he said to them, "Now draw some out and take it to the chief steward." So they took it. And when the steward tasted the water, it had become wine. And he did not know where it came from, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. The steward called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves the good wine first, and then the inferior wine comes after the guests have become drunk. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this, the first of his signs in Cana in Galilee, and he revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. On days like this, when we have a text that's just so full of rich images and lots of conversation pieces, I wish that we had a longer time in worship to talk about it, and that you could go to your Sunday school classes and kind of unpack it, because there's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of hearty conversation could occur around this whole business of weddings. Let me start out by saying, though, that I know I sent out emails about this and reminded people that today we were talking about weddings to bring your wedding albums. Some people did, and you're actually going to get the chance to peruse those. But let me say that I know for those of us who may be single or who come to worship alone or who may be divorced or widowed or widower, that this could be a difficult day. However, I want you to know that in the midst of talking about things of love and the value of love relationships, this wedding is only the context in which the story occurs, that we can talk not just about love, but lots of other things that are vital for individual life and health and vitality, and that for the church. So lest you think here that you're going to sit here and grieve about a loss in your life, it doesn't need to be that way at all. We're going to celebrate many different themes this morning. But since this is a wedding text, it does seem appropriate to just kind of do a little bit of remembering, maybe remembering not just weddings if you're not married, but other love relationships in your life that are significant. Now, I want you to think about, when was the last time you attended a wedding? Did you really want to go, or did you feel forced to go? Did you begrudgingly buy that gift? And I want you to think about the couple and how you came to know them. Do you know the story of their love and how it was that they came to meet each other? As part of a wedding ceremony, I always like to tell the story of how the couple met. Because for those who are there that don't really know them, it kind of endears them to the couple as they know a little bit more about the story. And then maybe as this next piece takes place in worship, I want you to think about, if you're married, your own wedding. As I invite Will and Ashley Dalton to come up and talk with me just a minute about their wedding day. Okay, so I've got some standard questions I'm going to ask both at the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock service. Will and Ashley have not been members for but maybe 2 years? Baptized 2 babies since they've been here. Obviously, their love has produced lots of legacies. They're in the nursery right now, both of them. So I want to start out by asking you, how did you meet? Where did you meet? How old were you? Why did you fall in love with each other? That kind of, all those 4 questions in one.
We actually met in Starkville, Mississippi. We both were at Mississippi State. And I was 19 and he was 20. And we actually had met, and we both were dating different people and yada, yada, yada. And after about a year after we had initially met, that's when we really started dating and kept dating until we got married. So.
Oh, what was so special that you each left the other for each other?
This was funny last night. We were trying to reminisce, and
we had a lot of good laughs.
We did last night. We did. He always made me giggle. He always made the brighter side of things. Not, he was like, why don't I do that for you anymore now? And he does in his own way, but not, when you first
not
meet.
When he was trying to woo you.
Yeah. The woo was much more, but no, I'm playing.
Yeah. He got what he wanted.
Yeah, no,
right.
He did a good job.
She was really carefree. I say was because we laughed about this last night too. We were both talking about ways we could change a little bit now. Carefree, spontaneous, beautiful. So,
okay. All right. Some of that might sound familiar to you. Your wedding day, was that an indoor or outdoor wedding?
We actually got married outdoors. His parents have a cabin in Corinth, Mississippi, and so we got married in June outside, so about 6:30 at night. So
and the weather was?
It actually held off. We were very excited.
I talked to somebody else this morning that said it rained before the ceremony. During the ceremony, it didn't rain. After the ceremony, it rained. So those outdoor weddings, whoo.
Yeah.
Okay, the date? You picked a June date. Anything specific or particular about that date?
I was actually in PT school, and so I finished exams on Friday. We got married on Saturday. We had our honeymoon for a week, and I was back in the classroom the next Monday.
How does that sound for?
Our lives have revolved around, we tried to stay students as long as we could, and now in our mid-30s, we've started working. So.
Okay. Guest list. Putting together a guest list for the wedding. That can be trying. It can be. Did you all have any trouble putting that together? And
it was difficult. His family's from Corinth, and we got married near Corinth, so it was. They felt like they needed to invite everyone, so we really had to. We did an engagement party to invite everybody, and then the wedding we really cut back on the guest list. So we had about 100 or 150 on the guest list, and they say about 60% show up or something like that. So.
Yeah, and this was at the cabin, so we had to make sure the deck, wouldn't cave through, so we had to definitely limit the numbers.
Yeah, because, we were very limited in space, and so we had people out on the boat dock watching up, and people, anyway, you can see it in the pictures. It's pretty funny.
They did bring several albums that you can look at this morning.